Hi, Eric Gibaud, Gibaud.com. Welcome to my humble house. Well, that's not mine, okay. Well, I wish it was. I would have to maybe fix a couple of things, okay. But today we're going to speak about URBEX, urban exploration. This is a style of pictures many people are interested in. Some places are like frozen in time, others have been destroyed by time, okay. So we're going to speak about some legal things and security and things like this you have to take into account. But also I will show you some picture I'm going to make here. So let's start. I'm going to tell you things and then put some pictures and then tell you things. So I'm not speaking all the time. So you see, we mix things. Okay. URBEX, urban exploration. There is also another kind of URBEX. It's called NURBEX, which is nude and URBEX. We're not going to see that. It's just some nude picture with people in a place like this, okay. But we're not going to see that. I will show you a standard classical URBEX, I would say, okay. URBEX normally urban exploration you would think it's on urban place, but by extension here I'm in the countryside. I mean, city is there, okay, but still it's away from urban area, okay. But still many things now are called URBEX, okay. The idea is to speak about abandoned places, okay. So what gear I'm going to use? I'm going to use my Hasselblad 907x with the digital back CFVII 50C and the 45mm P, which is equivalent in full frame of 35 to 36mm. Why do I use this camera? Because this is the one I had with me, okay, really. But you could use any camera. So let's look at some pictures and some explanation. One thing that is really important, you must have really clear in your head, okay? Abandoned does not mean that there is no owner. Nowadays, no places is without any owner. Maybe it's someone who inherited the place, he doesn't know he has the place, but it belongs to him, okay? Or the city, or the states, or whatever. It means that when you enter a place, you are not in your place. This is not your house. It's not your space, okay? It belongs to someone or to a state or to an entity, okay? So that's really important, that depending on the country where you are, the city where you are, the consequences of entering a place without a legal authorization can be really problematic, okay? Some places they will just say, if they see you, please go away, you cannot be here, okay? Some places they will fine you. In some countries it's 3,000, 6,000 euros or US dollar, heavy fine. And some states, like Texas, I think, if you enter a place that is not yours, you can be shot dead, okay? That's a big problem. Yeah, when they shoot you, that's a problem. And legally, without any problem. It doesn't need to carry a weapon, so they shoot you. If the owner sees you on his place, it's completely legal for him to shoot you, okay? So make sure to know where you are going, if you can enter, and the consequences. Because it can go from a simple go away to death, okay? That sounds dramatic, but you need to know it. This is why I recommend you always try to get an authorization to enter a place like this. Sometimes it's really hard to get because no one knows who is the owner, okay? So you enter at your own risk. Anyway, you enter always at your own risk. But sometimes it's a place that is closed, no one knows about it, but because you're a friend of a friend of a friend who knows that he's got a house that is abandoned because the owner died like 10 years or 50 or 100 years ago, and they inherited the house and they closed the door and that's it. And maybe has the key, open for you, or give you authorization to make pictures, all that. So it all depends, but always try to get an authorization when possible, okay, to avoid trouble. Most of us nowadays, when we make pictures, we want to share them on social networks. We like to show what we've done, give idea to people, or get opinion from people, all this. Yes, but when you make URBEX pictures illegally, because you could not enter the place, from the second you publish on social networks, you're publishing the proof that you actually enter the place. And that can be a big problem, okay? There are some people who've been heavy fined because the authorities saw the picture, because the owner went there and says, this guy entered my place, here's the proof, and you get in trouble. Same as with drone videos and pictures, when you fly, when you cannot fly. Some people have been fined later because they've published on YouTube the video, the drone video, and you see this guy could not fly in this national park. Okay, well, they fine you and you have to pay. Okay, so take care with what you publish, because you're publishing the proof that you've been in the place. Entering a place that is falling apart is at your own risk. Make sure that things are safe. Sometimes, like you see the roof fell apart and you could be just under there when it falls. It could kill you, okay? Or maybe a tile that falls on your head, or whatever, or a wall that falls. Some people say, that would be bad luck. Well, I guess that didn't fall in one day. There are some tiles that are about to fall again, okay? So take care. Always take care when you enter a place. Some places are like frozen in time and they're fine and there's no problem, but others are falling apart that could fall on you. So be careful. You could cut yourself. Sometimes you have some piece of wood on the floor and there's some nail, and you could stick it in your shoe and then in your foot, okay? So this is really take care. And sometimes when you enter the place, there are some people who are staying there. Sometimes young kids, take care. There may be some needles, with drugs, and you could get infected, or anything could happen to you. So always take care when you step, what you walk, where you walk, all this, and what you touch. Okay, take care. This is why I always recommend not to go on your own to a place like this. Get a friend or another photographer, go together. If anything happens, you can help each other. And if you're going to enter on your own, always make sure that someone knows you are in this place. Always. So you say at what time you think you enter and what time you're planning to go out. Or send some messages to tell you fine, all this, but make sure someone knows you in there. Because I prefer to get heavily fined, because I actually enter the place without authorization and I have to pay for it, than to die under a wall that fell apart because no one knew I was there, okay? So that sounds dramatic, but you need to know that, because every year there are some accident of people didn't take care, didn't think, were not really conscious of the situation, okay? So it's better to know this and organize yourself to make sure nothing wrong happens to you, nothing bad happens to you, okay? Actually, in URBEX, there are two kinds of places. There are the places that are frozen in time, that are perfect. It's like, sometimes you can even find the breakfast on the table or the food on the table. One day they just all went out and closed the door and that's it, okay? Or sometimes I've seen some car workshop that the mechanics died and the family locked the door and everything is fine in there. You even have a car, you have the tools, you have a lot of dust on it, but that's it. And they are perfect places, okay? And others are just simply destroyed. So when they're destroyed like this, very often in there you have graffiti, you have broken things, because some people just enter, they have fun breaking things, painting all over the place, okay? So there are different styles. Normally, many advanced URBEX photographers are really crazy for virgin places. When you enter the place, it's like, like if you travel in time. That's incredible, okay? When you find a place like this, if you go with authorization and with the owner, it's more likely that he locks the door and no one else will come in, okay? But if you find a place like this and no one knows about it, take care with this. First, don't destroy anything, don't paint, don't do anything wrong to the place, leave it as you found it, okay? But second, make sure other people don't know about the place. Many people think that URBEX photographer, they don't tell the places because they want to have unique picture. Some do, but most of them is not the reason. What they don't want is that other people enter and start painting, breaking everything. Because when you publish pictures, not only photographers are checking this, many other people look at it and they say, oh, that's great, I could go and practice graffiti in there or break things or steal things or whatever. So when you publish that kind of virgin places, make sure you don't show pictures that help recognize the place, because some people with not really good intention will enter the place. So respect the place always, and take care with what you actually show after on social networks or to anyone, okay? What gear do you need? Well, actually any camera is fine, okay? The decision is more on the lenses you're going to use. Some people really like ultra wide angle because they want to show the entire place, okay? Or sometimes the spaces in there are really narrow, so they need really ultra wide angle, and that's fine. And other people, they prefer to have something that is similar to a human vision, which is like 50mm on full frame, except if you turn your head or turn your eyes, then it's more like 35mm full frame, okay? It's your taste. And some people prefer to have a really wide angle and then to have a macro photo, macro lens, and get macro pictures of small details. It's up to you. There are no rules, actually. It's what you need, what you have, and what you want to do, okay? And what you want to show and how you want to show it. This is your decision. But what I really recommend is to have a good tripod. Why? Because indoor, there's normally, here's a bit different, but very often there is not much light, and you do want to have some depth of field, so you see the whole place. So you have to drop a lot the speeds, and you actually close your aperture to get depth of field, okay? So what you're going to do is to have many pictures that will be moved. So it's better to have blurred because you have movement, you shake your camera, okay? So I recommend you have a good tripod. In some situation, you will need to have a flash unit to light the place. In this case, if you use a flash, don't light directly to the scene. It's better to bounce on the wall behind you, if there is one, or on the ceiling, if there is one. This one there is not, okay? But then bounce light, so you will not cast heavy, harsh shadows of the object or whatever there is in there, okay? So it's better if you're going to use a flash, always bounce light, okay? You could add a flashlight, not for lighting, but to see yourself, okay? Because sometimes it's really dark, you cannot see much, and it's better to light to see the place exactly. If you see there are some switch on the wall and you think the house is connected to power, do not touch switches. Sometimes the installation is so old, even some old wires that used to have some kind of fabric instead of plastic around, you could have a short circuit, and it could everything get on fire. So you're in there, but even if you could escape, you've just burned down a house, okay? So never touch switches to check if there is light or not. Doesn't matter, no power for you. Use a flashlight if you need to see something better, okay? Some people will use a safety shoe that people normally use for like workers, like building houses, all this. There are safety shoes. You make sure a nail will not stick into your foot, okay? Or if something falls on your foot, there is like a iron cover, so it does protect your feet, okay? So maybe you don't need to buy this yet. If you're going to do URBEX pictures on a regular basis, I recommend you invest on safety equipment, okay? Maybe a helmet, whatever, gloves, whatever, okay? Many people, when they enter a URBEX place, a place to make URBEX picture, okay? And they walk around, they want to make picture of everything. They go crazy like a kid in a toy shop. He wants to play with everything. That's wrong. Try to be organized, methodic. Some people will start with a wide angle and get to the details. Other people will do the other way around. But don't go to every space, every room in the house. Start with one, then another one, then another one. Be organized, because otherwise you will forget things, or you will have many pictures that are repeated, okay? So make sure you really plan how you're going to make the pictures, okay? Second, if it's the typical house that is like captured in time and you have a lot of dust on the floor, don't walk on the floor like crazy. It's like if you're on the beach, on the sand, and then you start walking, and then after you have your footprint. Same thing. Make sure not to step anywhere. Just make your picture, get organized, and that's really nice. And if you go with another photographer, make sure you organize with him so you don't ruin his picture or he doesn't ruin your picture walking, stepping anywhere. Okay, it's really nice to have this floor just with dust. Then after, if you want to have some footprint, then when you finish, then you make your footprint and then you make the picture, but don't start with this. Really be organized. Okay. And then if you don't have time to make all the pictures today and you think you can come back another day, well, start with a part of the house and then make the other part another day, okay? What I really recommend is always end up with the exterior, okay? Don't start with the exterior. Why? Sometimes you don't have any other choice because light is getting down outdoor, or it's getting too harsh, okay? So then you do them before. But if you can always end with your exterior picture. Why? Right now I'm recording, okay? Let's say someone sees me there, knows the owner, and the owner comes and say, hey, you cannot be here making pictures. Okay, I have to go away. I didn't make any of my picture indoor. I have to leave, okay? But if I started with a picture indoor, I just step in the house, make my pictures, and then I make the picture outdoor and someone sees me and tells me I have to go away, yeah, I go away, but I have my indoor picture, okay? So that's really important, you take this into account. Always finish by the exterior. Respect the place, it's important. Even if it was destroyed, don't make it worse, okay? Just don't do anything, make your pictures and go away. Respect, this is not your house, okay? Even if someone else has destroyed it or it fell apart, this is not your house. The biggest problem you're going to find in URBEX is very often lighting. There is not much light, so you have to use your creativity. There is no rule for URBEX. You decide what you want to do, the style you want. Sometimes you want to have really dark place and just a ray of light through a window or through the roof. It's up to you, you decide, okay? There is no obligation whatsoever of a style or another, okay? You do as you want, okay? But the biggest problem, I think, is lighting. And you have to learn how to see the light, direction, how the shadows are cast, whatever. Play with that, okay? Well, I hope you like this video. It gives you you're eager to start to do URBEX photography, but really important, take into account safety and legal side of it. But this is really fun to try this, try to get into places like this, make pictures, but take care, okay? One thing is to have fun making picture and get great pictures. Another one to have legal or physical consequences, then it's not that much fun, okay? But I guarantee making pictures of abandoned place is something really special, okay? So thank you very much for watching the video. I hope you liked it. If you feel it may interest other people, please share it on social networks. If you have not done it yet, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Small button down here says small bell. If you click on the bell, get notified when I upload a new video. My website ericgibaud.com. If you have any question, can leave a comment below. Also leave your links of my gear on Amazon, links of everything I reviewed by K&F Concept, Sandmarc and Flashes by Westcott, more affiliated links, and also a link to my PayPal account in case you wanted to make a donation. Thank you very much, please take care of yourself and see you soon. Bye!